Hello, everybody. It's Graham Coath with My Music. We've hit the hump day, as we say here in the UK, the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. Of course, you might be listening to this on any day of the week. Whatever day of the week you are listening to it on, I hope you have a pleasant listen. Today, we'll be speaking to Ali. She's going to be talking to us straight after this video from Analog Trash. Hope you enjoyed that. I see you've got, was that a cup of tea, cup of coffee? What's your brew?
Yeah, tea.
Tea. Well, it's the end of a long day where you are, isn't it? Tell people where you're from.
It's actually only 11 a.m. where I'm from. I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, it's 11 a.m. Yeah, sorry, I got it the wrong way round. It's the start of your day. It's heading towards the end of mine.
Yes.
Has it been, what have you been doing lately? Has it been a busy period for you?
It has not been the busiest. I have just been off from school for the summer. So I've gotten a chance to really focus on music and things that I don't usually have a lot of time for during the school year. So it's been nice. I've gotten to, be in the studio again and write more. So those are things that I love doing, but usually don't have a lot of time from, September to April.
Yeah, that's hard, isn't it? Combining education with trying to make music.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm studying music in school, but it's not the same as just being able to write freely and be in the studio. It's very different. School is school. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you actually find studying music in school when you're trying to be an aspiring artist, is that a bit of pressure, especially like amongst your peers and whatever? Is it like, because it'd be like, you didn't know that, or you got that wrong, or I'd hate that.
Yeah, I go to school with a lot of people who have been like singing operas since before they could speak. So
wow.
Yeah, like the first day that I ever walked into my program, it was very intimidating because I automatically felt like I didn't know enough. I was not prepared enough because there's always going to be someone in the room who just knows more than you do. And so that was something that took a lot of getting used to. But I mean, like, I love it, but it definitely is. There's a lot of competition for sure.
Yeah. Have you managed to learn things from those people as well? Have you actually kind of picked up anything along the way that's been helpful to you?
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. I mean, when you're kind of surrounded by people who are so talented, I feel like I have definitely learned a lot from that and learned a lot of like what they do and what they study and how they get to where they are. So that's been very helpful for sure. I feel like if you're surrounded by people who are at the same level as you or below you, you don't really have growth in yourself. So
yeah,
I feel like I've definitely learned a lot.
Have you tried the old opera out yourself?
I've had to a couple times.
Yeah.
Difficult. Yeah, it's not easy, but I mean, it's not what I do. Like, it's not something that is familiar to me. So there's been a couple times where I've had to like sing songs in Italian and French and German, and that's been a struggle.
That's going to be really useful in years to come when you're a big star and you're doing the stadiums around the world, right? Because I watch those videos where it's like Coldplay or Ed Sheeran, whatever, and they're singing in Spanish or whatever.
Yeah.
Somehow they had to learn that, right?
Yeah,
not that I know whether they're doing it right or not, because I don't speak any other languages. They might just be faking it, but the crowd seem to not be killing them. So I assume
yeah,
they must know something. Now we're live, so there are people watching. Kathy said they might know more than you in some areas, but you might have your own niche where they can learn from you too. Yeah, what have they learned from you?
I think the one thing that I've brought to the program that wasn't really there before was songwriting. There aren't really many songwriters in the program, and they've just kind of it's been a very kind of traditionally classic music program since it first started. So they're just starting to branch out into this more popular music stream, and focusing more on the creative side of music. So I think that I've definitely, um, when I do performances in school, I try if I can to sing my own songs, and that's something that nobody else does. And so I'd say that's my thing. Like I can write songs, and that's what I prefer to do, and that's what I enjoy doing, and it's something that I know makes me unique because it's the one thing that nobody else is doing.
Cool. Now, listen, I've listened to some of your music, and you've got some highly polished, highly engineered pieces of music there.
Thanks.
Where do they start, though? How do they start for you? Do they start on, do you start writing things up in Logic or GarageBand and things like that, or do you start on the guitar, or where do you actually begin?
I usually start with guitar. It's either guitar or piano, but I find that I always have my guitar right next to me. So, I just pick it up, and sometimes I start with music, sometimes I start with chords, sometimes I start with lyrics. Like I have a notes app on my phone, like many people, and I have a little section where I just write down lyrics. And if something comes to me during the day, I'll write it down, and then a lot of the time I'll revisit it later, and I'll pick up my guitar and I'll just start strumming until I find something that I like.
Well, I'm going to get technical now for people out there that don't play guitar. This is very technical language, so please bear with us. Do you, on the guitar, do you go straight towards chords, or do you do like plinkety plonk? And do you actually draw out on several singular strings a little bit of a melody? Which bit do you start with first?
Usually it's just chords. Usually
Usually chords.
strumming chords with a pick. Yeah. That's kind of
Yeah,
what I gravitate towards. Um, Sometimes I'll kind of experiment with like a little finger plucking, stuff like that, because I like the sound of that.
yeah.
And
And
I
do you find it easy? Again, technical stuff here, folks. Do you find it easy to come up with a melody that's not necessarily completely what you're playing, and desynchronize the two, etc.? Or are there patterns that you graduate, you find yourself going towards all of the time on the guitar? And do you sometimes have to, you really struggle against that and go, oh, no, not that rhythm again? And well, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, I think definitely like a lot of the time, if I have a melody in my head already, I'll kind of sing it with the guitar over and over and over. If I know that I have something that I like and I want to use, but you have to be kind of creative when you're switching from writing a verse melody to a chorus melody, to a bridge melody. So, I mean, yeah, most of the time I'll start and I already have something in my mind that I like, something that's been playing over and over in my head, and I'm just like dying to sing it out loud and get it recorded in my phone. And yeah.
You see, I always struggle with that connection between the two. I can either I always say to myself, I either play the guitar or I sing.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm playing somebody else's song, it's fine because the two pieces have kind of been connected for me in my brain, so that's fine. I know I'm playing these chords and I'm singing this melody or whatever. But for me, it's always like I find myself completely attracted to rhythm on the
Yeah.
guitar, and so therefore I will kind of, if I sit and write a guitar part, I'll completely focus on the rhythm and where the chords are going and whatever. And then I'll sit there and I'll go, unless I record that, I can't then sort of deconstructing where vocals are going to sit on top of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So do you when you're writing, do you immediately go to kind of a basic recording process as well?
Yeah, anything that I'm singing out loud, I have to record into my phone immediately, or else I know that I'm gonna forget it. And like some of the best ideas you'll ever have are things that you just blurt out and it didn't take you long at all to think about it. And I know for me, like I have moments like that all the time. And if I don't write the sentence down or record the melody immediately, it'll be gone in the next few seconds. So
Yeah.
I always have that.
How old? I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but are you at an age where you can drive yet or not?
Yeah, I'm 19, so I
You're
can
19.
drive.
You
Yeah.
can drive. Okay. So, do you have that thing where people like drive past you occasionally, and you're sat in your car and you're basically singing into your phone?
I I actually don't have my full license yet, so I can't drive. Like, I'm at the age where I should be able to,
Yeah.
but I do have moments like that a lot where, like, I'll be somewhere in a public place and I'll get an idea, and, like, I will just fully sing into my phone. Like, my friends know that I do it. It's something that I do a lot. Because,
Is
like,
there any place where that's embarrassing for you, or you're quite happy with that on every occasion? It's it's fine. I mean, some places that the noise kind of around you maybe drowns it out a little bit, subway station or something like that. But
Yeah.
is there anywhere where it's kind of off limits? Maybe in the queue at McDonald's or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely moments like that, and in the moments like that, I'll try to just, like, sing it in my head over and over again until I can, like, get to a bathroom so I can sing it into my phone. But
I
yeah.
love that. It's like it's like a curse of like needing the toilet for a musician, but I need to get to the bathroom. Why? Because I need to get this tune out. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
somewhere in the world right now, in a restaurant, a fast food restaurant somewhere, is a musician sat on the toilet just getting the tune out.
Yeah,
Just so that's happening right this minute,
yeah.
somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration for behind a lot of the songs?
Honestly, like, I write about real life, I write about things that happen to me, and whenever I'm experiencing something significant in my life, like, my first instinct is to write it down. Like, whatever it is, I just have to write it down. That's how I process things, that's how I process my feelings. Like, it's just always kind of been that way since I was very, very young. Before I started writing songs, I was writing poems and short stories, and so, I mean, I think that's why songwriting now is so important to me. It's because I've always been someone who writes.
Yeah,
So,
I'm guessing you feel relatively comfortable with that within the songwriting process, actually talking about real stuff that's happening to you, etc. Is there anywhere else in the process, because getting the songs written and produced is just one part of it these days. Is there anywhere else in the process, maybe like putting that stuff out on social media, or then having to talk about it in interviews like this, or somewhere else that it then feels less comfortable?
I'd say so. I mean, you're always worried that you're gonna create something and put it out and people aren't gonna like it. Like, I know for me, when I put my first EP out, I was so excited about it and proud of it, but there's always a fear in the back of my mind that people aren't gonna like it or people aren't gonna resonate with it, and, um yeah, I mean, when you're really putting something out there into the world, you're just hoping that people like it and people understand it the way that you do. So there's always a little bit of fear that comes with that.
Yeah, but then it happens, and people do resonate with it, and people do
Yeah.
like it, etc. And then it, is that in itself a little bit of a shock? And then how do you deal with that?
Yeah, like when I get DMs or something from people across the world who tell me that, they just stumbled upon my music on Spotify and they love this song and this is why they love this song, like that for me is the best feeling in the world because it's like, okay, someone who doesn't even really know who I am found my music and listened to a song and is telling me their favorite lyric in that song and why they resonate with it, and that is such a cool thing to be able to do and such a cool feeling.
Yeah. Now, listen, you're still so young. So, what's the next phase for you? What's the clearly you've got to get through school and do that. And is it at a point as well where this starts to become difficult in terms of conversations in the home because it's like you must be quite good at school presumably as well. What subjects are you doing
Well,
other than music?
yeah, so I'm majoring in music and I'm minoring in business.
Okay, so music and business. Well, that fairly goes together. Okay,
Yeah.
but have you had those kind of do you have those conversations in the home about what's next?
Yeah, a lot. And I feel like I don't really have like a solid answer right now because I just think, I have to focus on finishing my degree for the next 3 years, and then I just don't know what comes after that. Like, I wish that I did, but I think with, the career path that I'm choosing to take, it's just very unpredictable, and I don't think I'll really ever be able to know exactly what's gonna happen until I'm there. So, yeah, I mean, I know for me, one dream of mine has been to go to Nashville and to pursue music in Nashville. I just think that that would be incredible, and it's always a place that I wanted to go to. So, I mean, that's
It's a dream for so many people, isn't it? Nashville. What is
yeah,
it about Nashville that is has that allure, that has that draw?
I don't
Is
know.
it the history?
I think it's the history. I think about, how many artists that I love and artists that I grew up listening to who have gone to Nashville and made it in Nashville. And so I think it kind of holds like a special place in my heart when I think about how many artists I love that have come from Nashville and their careers were born in Nashville. So I think that's why I keep coming back to it.
How would you, if you could, when you got to Nashville, right? That happened. That's happened, right?
Yeah.
Ali Cribb has finished her degree. She's got to Nashville. How would you influence Nashville with your music?
I think the one thing that I know I can always rely on is the fact that um, I can write songs, and whether I'm writing songs for myself or for other people, like that's something that I would love to do. I would love to just be in the writer's room and write for other people. Like I enjoy it so much that it's not something I have to do for me, Like I as long as I'm just part of that process and in that process, I just think it's like the greatest thing in the world to be able to create songs from start to finish. So I think it's something that makes me unique. I think it's something that makes me stand out from other people. I mean, there's a ton of great singers in Nashville, and I would love to write for some of them. And I think that the songs that I have written are unique and they're special and they're personal to me. So I would love to be able to expand on that.
Cool. So listen, what happens is I'm going to carry on the story a bit further. So you get to Nashville. See, we're being creative here. You get to Nashville, and there's all these great people there. And what you decide to do is you decide to put together a collective within Nashville, right? Who is in that collective? You can pick like 3 or 4 people. You're putting together your kind of dream collective of musicians.
Oh my gosh. There's so many names that
And
can
it doesn't matter. They don't all have to be young or old or what. It can literally be whoever you like.
yeah. Um, I mean, I love Taylor Swift. I grew up listening to Taylor Swift. Like, I love her. I think she's one of the reasons why I write songs for sure. It's because I always was a fan of her songwriting and always was inspired by her songwriting. Um,
I mean, if we're playing like fantasy football, but with musicians, that's a really good start, right?
yeah,
That's an ace card right there.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. So
I
we
know
all got
I went for like the biggest name in the world first, but
yeah.
like who I think of first. I love Casey Musgraves. I love I love Morgan Wallen. I love Luke Combs. Like I love those guys, those like newer country guys. Um gosh, I love Tim McGraw. Like I've been listening to Tim McGraw since, before I could talk because, my mom was a big Tim McGraw fan and
This is an A team, isn't it? It's an
yeah,
absolute A team. Yeah. Is there an older artist that you need to join as kind of the legend of the team?
yeah, I mean, my dad since I was really young was like the biggest James Taylor fan and like
Right.
raised me on James Taylor. Um, so I would like that would be a dream of mine to just even meet him one day, let alone like write with him, but just meet him and I've never been to a James Taylor show, but I would love that.
Oh, well, there you go. You've got a friend in
Yeah.
James Taylor.
Yeah.
See what I did there? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. What a great lineup of people. I think that would be an absolutely fantastic team. And so the ambition is to get there, is to write for yourself, continue, because I think you'll probably always carry on writing for yourself, but maybe write for other people as well, and develop that writing muscle as it goes on.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you know, Ali? Did you know that country, especially kind of alt country, at the moment is in massive in the UK?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, absolutely massive. In fact, it's the biggest selling genre in the UK right now.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
We have country nights. We have people wearing the cowboy hats and the boots,
Yeah,
going to see live music and doing the dancing. All of it.
that
It's
is so
it's
cool.
yeah. Is the UK on your agenda at any point to now, especially now knowing that? Would you love to come to the UK and you know where would you go in the UK? What would be the scene that you would look for in the UK?
Yeah, I've always wanted to go. I hope that I will be able to, like, maybe as a graduation trip in a couple of years, but yeah, I would love to go to the UK. I would love to see London. I would love to go to Scotland, Ireland. Like, that's where my ancestors are from, and my distant relatives. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's very much a part of my roots. So,
Yeah, there's
I,
a little bit of Gaelic in you then. There's a little bit of yeah, that's cool.
for
And
sure.
it, and that you could bring that out in your songwriting as well. Do you feel like you could kind of learn from in the same way that Nashville has that kind of heritage, etc. Would you be quite interested in kind of finding out a bit more about that sort of Gaelic heritage, etc., and that kind of the kind of folk music that comes from those kind of roots and combining it into what you do?
Yeah, definitely. I think that I have like a little bit of knowledge about Gaelic music because I would listen to it a lot growing up. My dad is from Nova Scotia, so
Oh,
a lot of
really?
yeah, so
Wow.
the music that's played there is like there's a ton of Gaelic music. Like especially like, Nova Scotia folk festivals. It's everywhere. Uh, so I know what it sounds like, and I love that sound. I love that type of music. I actually listen to it pretty often, like in my house. So I would love to explore it more and incorporate it into my own songs because I just think it's definitely a small piece of me for sure.
Yeah. Is there something about music that touches the soul in that kind of way that really resonates with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's so. That's the thing. Um, do you feel that sometimes with modern music, I mean, and you've produced more dance based tracks, etc. Do you feel that sometimes with modern music, it kind of lacks soul?
Yeah, I think it can for sure. And like a lot of the more poppy music that's being released today. Um, yeah, definitely.
How do you go about ensuring it has soul in the song?
I think that making sure that what I'm writing has real meaning to it and comes from true and raw emotion. Like, I think that's really what it takes to be able to write a song that's going to mean something to people is that it has to mean something to you first. And it has to come from real some kind of real emotion in your heart, like, regardless about what you're writing about. I just think that it has to first mean something to you before it can mean something to other people.
That's very true. That's very poignant as well. And that's what will make you a great artist at the end of the day. Stay true to that at all times.
Yeah.
Um, Tell people what music have you got out now at this moment?
So right now I have an EP out. It's called Unbroken. It has 7 tracks on it. They're all original songs. I'm very proud of it. And yeah, I'm working on some more music right now. I've been able to do that over the summer in the last few months, but yeah, that's what I have out right now.
Unbroken's a great title.
Thank you.
Because it suggests that at some point somebody might have tried to break you. Is there an element of truth in that?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that there's a common theme that, is there in every song on the EP. It's just it's an EP about staying true to yourself and staying strong and overcoming challenge and overcoming fear and so that title is the one that kind of stuck when I was coming up with like hundreds and hundreds. That's the one that I thought resonated most with me.
Yeah, and it's a message that will resonate with a society these days that where everything's put on the line on social media, etc. Do you feel that there's an element where people really do need to come back to what's true in themselves these days, with everything being as it is on social media?
Yeah, definitely. And I hope that the EP kind of sends that message to people. That's kind of the message that I was hoping to send. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of younger artists actually start to produce stuff where it has more of that kind of emotional connection. Have you yourself reached out to any other young artists and maybe had those conversations about what's kind of going on in the world?
I try to stay pretty relevant and like up to date with other artists like me who are putting out new songs and who are kind of growing themselves as artists and as new up and coming performers. And I do see like a common theme. I think we all, me as a new artist, I was kind of overcoming COVID and writing this EP throughout COVID and isolation, and it was, definitely a hard time. So I think that's why my music has that kind of uplifting tone to it. It's because those are the kind of feelings that I needed to be writing about throughout that difficult time.
Yeah. Do you feel that there's kind of a support amongst your peers for each other at the moment? Because we've certainly seen that in the UK at the moment. We've got another band at the moment who are trying to get their album independently to number one. They don't have a record label, etc. And there's a great kind of groundswell in the UK of artists supporting each other, independent artists supporting each other, and really saying, "Look, it's not my album going out, but please support it. Please get there because it's all of us in together." Do you get that over in Canada at the moment?
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of that for sure. I think social media is like a really great way to encourage things like that. And I try to stay pretty active on like Twitter and TikTok. And if I see another young artist that I like and I listen to their songs and I like them, I'll always try to, send out a post saying, hey, like I just, heard your song and I love it. And, or tweet about it and try to get people over to their page. Cause I think it's really important to support other artists who are kind of on the same path as you and facing the same challenges as you. It makes you feel good about yourself.
It's what I say all day long, Ali. It's shine a light on other people, and it all comes back to you. Thanks so much for joining me for this
Thank
conversation
you.
today. I hope it hasn't been too much of a grilling. And look, the whole purpose of this is to do exactly what it says on the tin. We call it a Ron Seal moment here in the UK. For those of you in Canada watching this, you might not get that, but there was a product that used to paint fences with called Ron Seal, and they used to say that in the adverts. Does exactly what it says on the tin. The aim of this is for more people to know about Ali's music, and it works. Look, there you go. Someone's going to check out the songs, and that's all that we can ask for in this day and
Amazing.
age, is that people watch, people enjoy it, and then people go and check out the music. And that little bit of help goes a long, long way, right? Because for every single person that likes it and then passes that piece of information on to another friend and says, you should really check out this, you do it over and over again, suddenly people have a fan base. And that's what it's all about. So if you've enjoyed this today, this has been the wonderful Ali Cribb. Insert massive round of applause there. If you haven't enjoyed this video today, then shame on you. And this has actually been an instructional video on how to clean the fluff out of your keyboard. Do what you like with this video now, but please still share it with someone else. I'll be back another time with my music, but thank you, Ali, for coming in, being such a good guest.
For having me. It's been incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'll see you again soon, folks. Bye for now.